Coach, after you guys got down 10-0 in this last game, we heard about the coaches getting the defense together, whether it was Todd or yourself. What was said? Because it seems like that moment on the sideline, these guys all talk about it, being told, "Hey, let it loose, let it loose." Can you recall that conversation?
Basically, it was a no panic conversation. We had went through that before with San Diego and LA. And, we just told them keep their composure, play what they see, and, play like they can play.
And with Jamel and Carlton, I mean, their ability to get their length, is that what's showing up now, is just how they're able to, get their hand on the football and create plays with their length and their position?
I believe that the game is starting to slow down for them. I think they're starting to understand what people are trying to do, how they're trying to attack them. And, they're playing pretty well right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question will come from Ira Kaufman.
Kevin, it's been a while since you were chasing James Lofton all over some football fields, Kev. So talk a little bit about just how challenging it is to play cornerback in the NFL today, and how you have to have a quick memory with all the rules stacked against these guys, Coach.
Well, I think that, you got a different style quarterback every week. You got different philosophies every week, and you're just trying to teach these guys how to adapt to the style of the play of, the opposing offenses. We're in the stretch right now where we get ready to start playing Pro Bowl quarterbacks, Super Bowl quarterbacks with Pro Bowl wide receivers. And, if you're going to be good and you're going to, you got to step up to the challenge. Those guys are stepping up. Not just the corners, the whole secondary. I think they're starting to gel. They're starting to feel, better about themselves and, playing well.
Has the fundamentals of playing the position, Kevin, changed with all the rule changes, or it's still the basics are the same?
The basics are the same. I think that, it's just ticky-tacky. Every week it changes. It depends on what referee you get. The main thing we're trying to get done here is to get your head around for the ball down the field, limited to grabbing and pulling and tugging down the field. And we can get that accomplished, and I think we'll be okay because we do have good length. We do have good speed outside. The physicality of the corners are starting to show up. The physicality of the safeties is definitely showing up. So we're starting to come along.
Thanks, Coach.
Next will be Jamel Dean.
Hey, Coach, I know you've talked about Antoine Winfield Jr. With us in camp, but I was just wondering, prior to the draft, was that were you able to have a little bit of a say in that at all? Or because I know, again, you worked with his dad.
No, I just coach what they bring me.
Gotcha.
That's the scouting department. They did a great job.
Well,
I wish I could take credit for that, but I got to get that all to the scouting department.
Well, yeah, they certainly did do a great job with that. Props to you for being honest. Along those same lines there, you've had more time since to work with him, and you even saw him moonlighting a little bit as a nickel in some games. What really stands out to you that's allowed him to have such a successful transition to this next level at a position that a lot of guys really have a hard time doing that, making that jump?
Antoine is he's pro ready. I mean, it's never too big for him. He's a very disciplined player. You might get him one time in certain things, but I don't think you'll get him twice in anything you do. He plays very hard. He plays very smart. That's all I really can tell you about him. He's a smart, very hard physical player.
Thank you, Coach.
Next will be Greg Auman.
Hey, Coach, your corners have taken so much pride in putting in the time and in watching film and studying opponents. It seemed like Sunday was a good game for that. We saw Carlton kind of jump that screen, I think, on the second play of the game. And then obviously Jamel with the pick six, there was a lot of recognition and awareness there. How much have they taken a step forward in terms of knowing what to expect and being able to react quickly?
Oh man, they have to put the time in on the film because you're playing man to man, you're playing zone. They play so many techniques out there. And that's what people don't understand. They adapt pretty well to the system. And like I said, they do a lot of film study. That film study is helping them play faster. It's slowing the game down for them. They're starting to recognize splits and tendencies of people. And they're just playing at a high level right now.
Kevin, you've played in a lot of NFL defenses. You've coached in a lot of NFL defenses. To see the complexity of what you guys are able to do and kind of the deception, the disguise factor, how much does that compare to what you're used to or what a normal NFL defense might be?
Oh, well, I'm used to it under Todd. Todd has
Right.
a hell of a system. You just got to be able to teach a lot of techniques. Like I said, they're not there yet. We're not there completely yet, but we are getting better at what we're doing. And we should start peaking in the middle of next month, the end of next month. We hope to be peaking at that particular time. And like I said, the confidence is growing in the back end, which is really good because they allow us to do a lot of things. The more they can do, the more we can dial up.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes,
Next
sir.
will be Scott Reynolds.
Rock, you're an absolute Chiefs legend, and with your team playing the AFC West this year, is it still Raiders hater week for you? And what are your thoughts on playing the Raiders personally, since you've been in the league so long with the Chiefs organization and now with the Bucs? And what's it going to be like going against your former team, the Chiefs, later this season?
Well, going against the Raiders back in the day and now, even now, right now, they're a long ball team. They look like they're going back to what they used to be when I was playing, which was the deep ball. Run the ball, the deep ball. So we'll see what happens. I think we're prepared to play for them. As far as the Chiefs, we'll see them down the road. We just know we have to play good ball to beat both teams. They're both very well coached, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Next will be Ira Kaufman.
Kevin, you're going against Henry Ruggs this week. You got Tyreek Hill coming up later this year, Coach. When you're facing guys with that kind of world-class speed, how challenging is that? How much tougher does it make for you to formulate the proper game plan?
Only one way to slow it down. You got to hit it. You don't let it go. You got to hit it. You want to slow
Easier
it
said
down.
than
You want to
done,
make that
Coach.
4.2s, 4.5s. You got to put your hands on them.
Easier said than done, right, Coach?
Easier said than done, but I think we understand it. Those guys that we got outside are not slow either, though. They're 4.3, 4.4 guys, so I'm confident that they can run with them.
Next question will come from Luke Easterling.
Coach, Jenna mentioned the versatility of a guy like Antoine, another versatile guy that played some nickel last year with Mike Edwards. What can you say about his ability to take his opportunities and make the most of them when he's gone in the game? He's come up with 2 huge interceptions so far this season, and what he's meant to this defense when he's gotten his chances.
Well, you said it. A guy like Mike, a guy like Dean, they play limited times, but their production on the field, when they get on the field, is high. And they're playmakers. You find the ball, you make a lot of money.
And with Carlton, you've said it already multiple times here, today about the ability to make the most of those physical traits. And he's a guy that, struggled with avoiding those penalties kind of earlier. What has made the biggest difference for him in his, whether it's preparation or execution, in him going from a guy who's, drawing more flags than making big plays to one of the more successful corners so far this year in the league?
It's just a matter of being disciplined. That's all. He's working on his technique. He's working on his film study and things like that. It's a credit to him as a player, as a man, to want to get better and to work on the things that he needs to work on to get to the elite status.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Next question will come from John Ledyard.
Coach, Jamel Dean's gotten his hands on so many passes just in the short time that his career has existed in the NFL so far. I'm just curious from you, at some point, I know he plays a lot because it's nickel and nickel's kind of in, and so he's going to be on the field a lot. But at some point, does it get to a point where you don't want to take him off the field at all, even if it means Sean has to play a little bit less, where it's a point where Dean is such a playmaker and such a difference maker that you don't want to have him off the field even in base 3-4 looks?
Well, if I had my way, they all be on the field. They're going to be on the field enough because right now, really a nickel back right now is pretty much a starter. You have so many 11 personnel teams that you have to have a third corner that's going to be, like kind of playing like a starter. So I just tell them this: it's a position where you can't hide nobody. They can all be exposed, so they all have to have their minds right. They all have to have their techniques and, their game plan ready to go.
Are there traits specifically about Sean Murphy-Bunting that you really appreciate in a nickel corner?
We were just talking about that today. You got to be instinctive. You got to be able to play against the run. You got to be able to play zone underneath. You got to be able to play man to man. In our system, you do a lot of things in that position. So he has all the traits. He has the smarts to play it, and that's why he's playing it.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Last question will come from Leo Haggerty.
Coach, you're a South Jersey guy from Paulsboro, and you're a Philly guy from Temple. One thing that both areas have in common is extreme physicality. How do you translate that to your corners that they got to play physical?
Emphasize. You get what you emphasize, and you show it from other people. You let them listen to other people. You let them watch it. You let them know why certain people are unsuccessful. You show why they are successful, and you go from there. The one thing about film, it doesn't lie. You either are or you're not, and I just show it. When you are physical, this is what happens. When you're not physical, this is what happens.
All right, that's all we have time for. Appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.